World War II veteran in Colombia is turning 100 years old next week, and a woman who lives a state away has a creative way of honoring her friend for the occasion. Take a look.
Thomas Fearrington is a World War II veteran in Colombia. He turns 100 years old on April 18th. Family friend Rachel Bradbury lives near Atlanta, but wanted to do something to let him know people remember his service.
So I reached out to some teacher friends and some scout troops and also some other civic organizations and asked if they would be willing to write some birthday cards or some notes of encouragement and just send them his way. And I got a very good response.
Fearrington was born in 1923 in Greenville, Mississippi, later moving to Asheville, North Carolina. He was called up to join the Army in 1943 when he was 19 years old after attending North Carolina State University for 2 semesters. The Army sent Fearrington for training in both Georgia and Florida. He narrowly missed D-Day on June 6, 1944 in Normandy, France. There wasn't a boat for him to ship out over season.
At that point in time, I was hip. I wanted to be in an invasion. I wanted to do everything. But after I was in it a while, I changed my mind. And I said, man, I was lucky I wasn't on that ship.
Eventually, Fearrington ended up in England in the summer of 1944. He was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division after they landed in Normandy. He was a glider infantryman in the 327th Infantry Regiment as part of a mortar squad. The mission of Market Garden happened in the modern-day Netherlands on September 17, 1944. Fearrington's squad was among the gliders that flew in the next day.
The whole thing came from 25 airports in England, and I can remember the gliders, as far as you could see, were gliders. And a couple of them had to unhook over the North Sea, and as soon as they hit the water, there were little boats all the way from England to Holland, and I didn't see them actually hit the water, but I'm sure there was one from our company that had to unhook, and I'm sure it was picked up real quick.
Fearrington's glider landed in a turnip patch. During the mission, the Germans heard Fearrington's squad on the road and fired mortars at their ditch.
Mortars go boom, 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 and then there's a little silence, and then they start hitting boom, boom, boom. So I had a chance to go from one side of the road to the other.
Fearrington said a mortar landed on top of them. Everyone in his squad was wounded except for him. He walked away with a sliver of shrapnel in the end of his finger. In early December of 1944, somebody came through the barracks to gather them up for their next mission.
Hubba, hubba, wake up, gather all your gear, we're moving out, and that's when we moved to Bastogne.
Fearrington and his battle buddies went on to the Battle of the Bulge, which started December 16, 1944. Arlington Cemetery calls the 6-week battle the deadliest single World War II battle for the U.S. The Army lost over 19,000 soldiers. The hardest part of the battle wasn't the fighting for Fearrington, it was the weather.
I dug in my foxhole. I was in my foxhole. You have a buddy, and you and your buddy in the foxhole. And it was so cold, I thought I was going to freeze to death, so I was afraid to go to sleep that night.
Fearrington doesn't want people to forget the service members who fought in World War II.
You're blessed with freedom today because of all the lives and sacrifices that were made before you.
Tiffany Tranozuna, WIS News 10.